Welcome to Paula's Cooking in a Camper, where we give you hints and tips and recipes ideal for anywhere with limited cooking facilities and space, such as in a camper van, caravan, motorhome, tent, student accommodation and of course at home. Today I'm cooking my signature dish, which is my breakfast quesadilla, and this is where the great British breakfast meets Mexico. So in the flat bottom frying pan I put a glug of oil, and I'm just going to fry off my great British breakfast, which consists of mushrooms, pre-cooked sausage. These pre-cooked sausages are fantastic. They're ideal as a standby ingredient as well as key in this recipe. They're ideal in pasta, on sandwiches, toasties, anything. Another thing we use quite a lot of are tinned potatoes. They're cooked in a tin and they last for years, so again they're an ideal standby. Then I've pre-cooked some bacon. We're going to put that in as well. So make sure that you do pre-cook the bacon, or cook the bacon first. You don't want raw and cooked food going in together. We've got some black pudding. Being from Bury, of course it has to be the famous black pudding from Bury. And then some baby tomatoes. Make sure you do chop the baby tomatoes up. We don't want a whole baby tomato in a quesadilla because it's an accident waiting to happen. So in this pan we're just going to reheat everything which is already cooked. So to recap, we've got sausage, bacon, tomatoes, black pudding and cooked new potatoes. I'm going to fry this off. So this is ready. And our daughter Princess, she would actually eat this as it is. She's not bothered about it going in the quesadilla because she's always starving. She'll have it like this, just with a sprinkling of cheese. So all the cooked ingredients, we're just going to put on one side, put into a bowl. And you want to make sure there's hardly any oil left in, because when we make the quesadilla, you'll realise why we don't want any oil. Next, in the bottom of the pan, we get a round flat tortilla. Because it's a breakfast tortilla, I'm using just a plain one. But if, for example, you were making chicken fajita quesadilla, you might want to use one of the spicy ones you can get in the supermarket. And I guarantee all supermarkets sell various different tortilla wraps now. So in the bottom of the pan, we'll have a sprinkling of cheese. There we go. The two things you need for a quesadilla are the wraps and the cheese. The filling is entirely up to you. So for example, if you're having a bolognese or a chili the night before and you've got a little portion left over but not enough to make a decent meal, pop it in a tin, in a plastic tub, put into the freezer, and then whenever you feel like it, take it out of the freezer, defrost it, drain off any excess liquid, reheat it, and instead of putting this filling into there, you could use a layer of the bolognese or chili. So then you would have the wrap, the cheese, a layer of the bolognese or chili, some more cheese and a wrap on top. Right, so to get back to the breakfast quesadilla, we've got the cheese is beginning to melt now on this wrap. So we've got the wrap, cheese, and we're going to put half of this filling back in. Here we go. You don't want it to be too thick, because when you're eating the quesadilla, if it's too thick it will go all over the place and it just makes a mess. The idea is to be able to eat this Mexican sandwich on the go, on the beach, at home, sat watching breakfast TV, whatever. On your way to exams, if you're at uni. Next, another handful of cheese. The cheese is what sticks the sandwich together, so if you were doing a bolognese one or a chili, you might want to use spicy cheese for an extra zing. Place a wrap on top. So to recap, in there we've got a tortilla wrap, a sprinkling of cheese, and then we've got a mixture of sausage, bacon, tomatoes, mushrooms and tinned potatoes, which we've fried off and reheated, sprinkling of cheese and another tortilla wrap. You then get either a plate or a round chopping board. Place this one on top. As you can see, this board, perfect fit for this, and as you get used to making them you'll find out what fits for you. Here we go. And this is why you don't want much oil. Here we go. If you had any excess oil it would burn you, so be careful. There we go. So we're going to just cook that for a few minutes. So you've got the crispy wrap, you've got the cheese which is melted, you've got the filling, you've got another layer of melted cheese, and then you've got the crispy wrap on top. Just while that's cooking, to go back to this, Uncle Ernest years ago, he bought us a cheese board for Christmas. So it was this cheese board with cheese on it and a glass dome. The cheese, well, we didn't get the cheese board till March, so you can imagine what state the cheese was. But the cheese board has been a godsend because it's perfect for on here. So Paula, cooking in a camper, tells everybody to go to Morrison's and get the cheese board. Morrison's have changed the shape of the cheese board this year, so I want you all to email Morrison's and say we want the round cheese boards back, please. Right, we're now ready to serve. Place the board on top. We will now turn it over. Here we go. Perfect. So this is your quesadilla. Unless you're really greedy, you're not going to eat it like that, are you? So Uncle Ernest also bought us a pizza cutter. We never use it at home, but in the van, we use it all the time, and it's perfect for this. Here we go. So we're going to cut it into 6 pieces. There we go. There we go. That's right. So now look at this. How yummy is this? The breakfast quesadilla. Melted cheese filling. That's why you don't want it too thick. Look at that. It is absolutely divine. So I want you all to go out, make the quesadilla, and send me pictures to Paula's Cooking in a Camper at btinternet.com. Thank you. Bye bye.